And welcome back to Hannity and Colmes, coming tonight live from the Republican National Convention. A busy night on tap tonight as we're going to be hearing from President Bush, Fred Thompson, and Senator Joe Lieberman. McCain's running mate, Governor Sarah Palin, will be speaking tomorrow night. And make sure you tune into the Fox News channel for that coverage. And with us now is former presidential candidate, former New York City Mayor Rudy Guliani. He will be a keynote speaker at this convention later in the week. You were going to speak tonight. What happened? Why did you get moved?
Move it to tomorrow night. I think with all the backup, and so I'll be on tomorrow night at 9.
You're still a keynote, right?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes, yeah.
You want to get
it all done?
A little preview of
Sure,
what
let me
might
just
say?
start it right now.
Start now. You can finish up right behind us.
No, it's all prepared.
Tomorrow.
It's been changed a few times. We may have to change it one or two times before tomorrow.
This is a McCain tie I see you're wearing.
Yeah,
right?
I was actually in a restaurant, and I saw someone with it, and I admired it, and they gave it to me, and I gave them my tie.
The question that is being asked, I don't think it's so much about Sarah Palin. I think it's about the vetting process that John McCain went through, that he apparently chose her at the last minute, didn't have a team in Alaska, didn't go to the FBI. The FBI says they never vetted her, even though it was claimed by the McCain team that they did. They never sent a team to Alaska till the day before. They never looked at the public record. They never looked at the newspaper. Never
you got
talked
a question
to people.
there someplace?
Yeah.
What's the question?
I mean, he's got to answer for the vetting process, does he not?
Oh, sure he does. He's got to answer for it, and he's going to answer really well. He selected one of the most successful governors in the United States of America, the single most popular governor in the United States, one who's reduced taxes, reduced government spending, actually brought about energy independence, stood up to the oil companies, stood up to Republican corrupt politicians. You Democrats should be ecstatic with her. This is a Republican who stood up to other Republicans and said, I'm not going to take any corruption in my state. This is a very independent woman.
She was a supporter of Ted Stevens until recently. She actually was part of his earlier committee. She supported the Bridge to Nowhere, so she couldn't get the funding for it. And then she flip-flopped on that.
But then she found out. I mean, she found out what was going on. She found out what was going on. She found out what was at stake, and she stood up to Republicans. It's exactly what you don't have on your side. Barack Obama was in Chicago for how many years? When did he ever expose any corruption? Ever?
First of all, he passed one of the strongest ethics bills in the Senate.
When did he ever?
Wait a minute. He was acknowledged one of his big accomplishments as a legislator. Was one of the ethics legislators.
He never exposed any corruption in the Democratic Party in Chicago, which I imagine is because he's just not observant.
Well, he's not observant.
Or there is none.
He did a number of things on health care. He keeps getting diminished, called a community organizer. He's diminished his record in spite of 12 years as legislator.
Exactly.
And all the other things he's done.
Mayor, let me ask you a
what
question.
does a community organizer do? I mean, I'm trying to figure that out.
That's one of his many accomplishments.
Being a community organizer. That's
getting people to vote, involved in the political process.
Excuse me, Alan. If there was any vetting that should have gone on, here's Barack Obama, has zero experience. His claim to fame is he was a community organizer. He's never made an executive decision.
She begins with more executive experience than the entire Democratic ticket combined. She had that experience the first day she was mayor. The second day she had twice as much experience as they've ever had. They've never run a city, never run a state, never administered a budget, never had responsibility for making decisions. And any time Barack Obama has to make a decision, it takes about 3 days to get it right.
And he went for somebody to shore up his very weak foreign policy credentials in Joe Biden, supposedly. Joe Biden, who agreed with John McCain on the issue of Iraq.
Right.
But it seems that Barack Obama, the one decision he claimed to fame as a community organizer, those housing projects they built went bankrupt, they're boarded up, and nobody can live in them.
Did he do that as a community organizer? I don't remember.
By the way, what is a community organizer?
I'm working on that. I'm trying to figure out what that is. I know what a governor is. I know what a mayor is.
Yeah.
I know what a city council member is. I don't know what a community organizer is.
The job of a president is to make decisions.
Right.
And has he ever made $1 million decision? Has he ever made
You will notice when
decision?
he makes decisions, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
On Georgia, he first set up a moral equivalency between Russia and Georgia. He then said, let's give it to the United Nations, until he figured out Russia has veto power. It took him 3 days to get to the right decision.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a difference here in judgment, a difference in experience, and I think that he got away with no experience. And all of a sudden we have a woman on the ticket, and her whole record is being attacked in a way that his never was.
Well, if we're going to have this debate about experience, I'll put the number 2, Sarah Palin's experience as an executive, against Barack Obama, the community organizer who voted president and never accomplished a single thing of significance in the Senate, against her.
Well,
this is laughable.
The reality is that we have our ticket in the right order.
That's right.
The person with experience, most experience, is number 1. The younger person, who's the next generation, is number 2. They have a person with no experience, number 1. And they have a person, number 2, who's got a lot of experience. But on foreign policy, tell me how often has Joe Biden been right? He opposed Ronald Reagan in the struggle that Ronald Reagan had against the Soviet Union. He was hanging on to détente when everybody else had rejected
Against
it.
Kuwait.
He voted against the Persian Gulf War, and he voted against the surge.
Right.
The surge, which has proven to be successful. So Joe has a record, but it's been a record of being consistently wrong on these major issues.
Let me talk about what I have declared. I think we'll look back in 2008 as the year journalism died. I was asking this to Dick Morris. Sarah Palin has been now in the national spotlight for 5 days. She has had more questions. Her 17-year-old daughter, there have been more questions raised about her than about Barack Obama's relationship, his speeches that he gives, his Woods Foundation that he sat on with an unrepentant terrorist to bomb the Pentagon and the Capitol. What has happened to media in this country?
There really should be a sense of decency about leaving children out.
Yeah.
I mean, what Sarah Palin's family has gone through is something a lot of American families go through, except they want to go through it, quietly, and they're handling it decently. They're handling it as well as you can handle it, and they should be left alone.
What do you make of the fact that for 19 months he's not been asked, why did you give speeches with, why did you seek political support from, why did you sit on a board with an unrepentant terrorist?
Well, I don't know why he wasn't asked that. I know that Sarah Palin is being taken over the coals over issues that should not be part of the public debate.
Yes.
And I don't know what it's about. I don't know why. It may be that Republicans are treated differently than Democrats. I'm not sure.
Tomorrow night, quick preview. Is it going to be a hard-hitting speech?
He wouldn't tell me. Maybe he'll tell you.
What do you think?
I think it's going to be hard-hitting. I've been friends with you for too long.